The Bhagavata Purana says that Lord Balrama visited Falgunam, more commonly known as Tiruvananthapuram, bath in Panchapsaras Padmatirtham, and made a gift of 10,000 cows to holy men. Though the Sannidhyam of Lord Padmanabha has always been present in the holy land of Thiruvananthapuram, making it a pilgrim spot even during the time of Balarama, the present-day temple for the Lord came up later. The southwest part of the Chuttambalam was constructed at the holy spot where Lord Balarama is believed to have donated cows to holy men. This portion came to be known as Mahabharatakonam and covered the ground underneath which both Kalara B and Kalara A were situated. According to a popular legend, many devas and sages devoted to Lord Balarama visited him on the banks of Padmatirtham. They requested him that they may be permitted to reside there worshipping the Lord. Balarama granted them their wish. It is believed that these devas and sages reside in Kalara B worshipping the Lord. Naga Devatas devoted to the Lord also dwell in this Kalara. Kanjaratu Yakshi, whose enchanting and ferocious forms are painted on the southwest part of the main sanctum, resides in this Kalara worshipping Lord Narasimha. Holy objects like Sri Chakram were installed beneath this Kalara to enhance the potency of the principal deity. Lord Ugra Narasimha of Thekidam is said to be the protector of Kalara B. There is a serpent's image on Kalara B indicating danger to anyone who opens it. A 4-day Ashtamangala Devaprasnam conducted in August 2011 declared Kalara B as forbidden zone. In 2011, the antechamber to Kalara B was opened by the observers appointed by the Supreme Court of India. But the observers could not open Kalara B. However, Gopal Subramaniam in his report submitted to the Supreme Court in April 2014, recommended its opening after conducting another Devaprasnam. The two Pushpanjali Swamiyars are the highest spiritual dignitaries of Padmanabhaswamy temple. The Pushpanjali Swamiyar of Naduval Madham sent letters to the chairperson of the Administrative Committee and the Executive Officer on February 8, 2016 expressing his strong opposition to the opening of Kalara B. The Pushpanjali Swamiyar of Munchira Madham led a Ratha Yatra from Kasaragod to Tiruvananthapuram in May 2018 campaigning against opening the sacred Kalara. Isvantri Thamprakal, the supreme spiritual leader of Kerala Brahmins, while addressing a meeting held in connection with the Ratha Yatra also demanded that faith should not be trampled upon by opening Kalara B. According to folklore, Padmanabhaswamy, arch-rival of Anajam Thirunal Marthandavarma, marched to Tiruvananthapuram with his forces and tried to loot the vaults of the temple. Thampi stayed at Sri Varaham and sent his mercenaries to Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple. It is said that divine serpents materialized in hundreds and scared away Thampi's men. Emboldened by this heavenly intervention, Palishal Pillai and local people opposed Padmanabhaswamy and ensured that the mercenaries did not proceed with the misadventure. It is highly unlikely that Kallara B was opened after the 1880s. An article by Emily Gilchrist, a visiting English woman in the 1933, recalls in her book, Trivandrum, a guidebook for the visitor, Oxford University Press, 1933, about an unsuccessful attempt to open one Kallara in 1908. About 25 years ago, when the state needed additional money, it was thought expedient to open these chests and use the wealth they contained. A group of people got together and attempted to enter the vaults with torches. When they found the vaults infested with cobras, they fled for their lives. According to a report by former Controller and Auditor General of India Vinod Rai, Kallara B has been opened a number of times in recent decades, twice in 1991 and 5 times in 2002. Once Vinod Rai's report was out, Princess Aswati Thirunal Gauri Lakshmi Bai clarified that Mr. Rai was referring to the antechamber to Kallara B, which was opened even in 2011 by the Supreme Court appointed observers. The Kerala High Court ruled in 2011 that the state government should take over the control of the temple and its assets, but the Travancore royal family appealed to the Supreme Court. An independent report was commissioned, and was completed in November 2012, finding no evidence that the royal family were expropriating the treasures. As of end April 2016, vaults B, G, and H along with their several antechambers were yet to be opened, while inventorying of the items in vaults C, D, E, and F were completed. In August 2012, and formal inventorying of Vaulta had commenced. Several hundred pots and other items made of gold, that are used for daily rituals or intermittently for ceremonies in the temple, were not inventoried as the temple priests expressed strong objections. Over 1.02 lakh articles had been retrieved from Vault A and its antechambers till that point, though only a small part of them had been inventoried then. An article could be either an individual item, or collections of several items, examples of the latter being a cache of 1,95,000 Rasapana Ms. gold coins weighing 800 kilograms and sets of Navaratnas, collections of 9 different kinds of diamonds. There are over 60,000 fully precious stones, set as parts of larger pieces of gold jewelry, amongst those items inventoried as of March 2013. The results of the inventory are not to be released until the completion of the whole process by order of the Supreme Court of India. In April 2014, amicus curiae advocate Gopal Subramaniam filed a 577-page report to the Supreme Court of India alleging malpractices in the administration of the temple. According to him, the authorities failed to perform their ethical duties by opening many bank accounts, trusts and also not filing income tax returns for the past 10 years. He alleged that Vault B was opened despite a previous ruling of the Supreme Court prohibiting the same. The report states the large amount of gold and silver, the discovery of which was a shock to the amicus curiae, is a singular instance of mismanagement. The presence of a gold plating machine is also yet another unexplained circumstance. This discovery raises a doubt of the organized extraction by persons belonging to the highest echelons. There appears to be resistance on the part of the entire state apparatus in effectively addressing the said issues. The lack of adequate investigation by the police is a telling sign that although Trivandrum is a city in the state of Kerala, parallelism based on monarchic rule appears to predominate the social psyche. The Supreme Court bench comprising Justice R. M. Lodha and Justice A. K. Padnaik ordered a change in administration by forming a 5-member committee and appointing Vinod Rai as auditor. The committee will include Trivandrum District Judge K. P. Indira Thantri and Nambi of the temple and 2 members to be decided in consultation with the Government of Kerala. Additionally, IAS officer and former administrator of the temple, K. N. Satish was appointed as executive officer. The Government of Kerala agreed to comply with the Supreme Court order. Moolam Thirunal Rama Varma remains the trustee of the temple and still does the ritual duties as the titular Maharaja of Travancore, but has no responsibility regarding the temple management after the interim ruling by the Supreme Court. The report also found the existence of 2 more vaults that were never even made mention of or hitherto spoken about. The report named them Vault G and Vault H. Like Vault B, and all its antechambers, both these vaults and their antechambers were yet to have been opened, as of May 201. 4. The report also mentions that Mr. Subramanian found several large trunks filled with artifacts made of precious metals and precious stones outside of the 8 vaults and their antechambers. The CBI and the Intelligence Bureau have red-flagged the appointment of Gopal Subramaniam as a judge in the Supreme Court. The IB cites Mr. Subramaniam's report on Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple as one of the instances where he relied heavily on his spiritual instincts rather than rational logic and hard facts. In his second report on Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple, Mr. Subramaniam himself reveals, it was his morning ritual of shutting his mind and seeking guidance, which resulted in discoveries in this direction. The amicus curiae has also been accused of conducting pujas in the temple in violation of its customs. He performed pujas at the Thivarapura in the temple and in front of the Vedavyasa shrine. Despite opposition from the royal family and the tantris of the temple, he pulled out a stone yantra from the nearby Marthandan Madham palace and did puja on it for several days. The tantris explained that the yantram had no connection with the Padmanabhaswamy temple and that it was for the protection of the palace. But the amicus curiae insisted on having it installed in the sanctum sanctorum of the temple. Due to severe opposition from the tantris, the yantram remains where it was. Every morning, Lord Padmanabha is to be awakened only by blowing the conch shell and chanting the Sripita Suktam. But the amicus curiae introduced the daily rendering of Venkatesa Suprapadam to awaken the Lord. The Supreme Court requested the Tantri to take the final decision on whether the Suprapadam could be sung. Following that, the senior Tantri Nadumpally Tharananalore Parameswaran Nambuthirapad directed the temple authorities to stop the chanting of Suprapadam forthwith, as it was causing Anyam Antrayayana Dasham affliction due to worshipping the deity with incompatible mantras to the presiding deity in the temple. As atonement for this dasham, the Tantri wants Vedic scholars to chant 12 muras, each of Rig Veda and Yajurveda. In his first report to the Supreme Court, the amicus curiae directed the Tantris to examine whether a Sri Yantra can be installed in the sanctum sanctorum in front of the Utsava Murthy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Footprints for more videos.